Happy Thursday, everyone. All right, so we're bringing today the same crew who's always giving you amazing tips and tricks for you to better your life. We have Kara Jean, our executive coach. There you go, taking the coat off and ready to have her Superwoman cape on. Irina Pornova, Bruno, and we're ready to get started. Today's topic is something that came up because I had a meeting with a bunch of entrepreneurs today, and they all said, "Oh my God, my first quarter is not going the way that I expected." So if that's your case, please let us know. We want to be able to help you. We want to be able to get you into the next step of your career. So let me start today's um, topic with actually sharing you an image because this is usually what happens in networking, and we're gonna get back to it in just a second. But I really want you to take a quick look and tell me what do you think. Ready? You want to do a zoom? Let me see if it allows me to zoom. No, it doesn't allow me to zoom. But can everybody read it?
Yeah.
And that's what happens in business. You go to a networking event, you find a bunch of entrepreneurs like, oh my God, I want what they have. What? True love? Nah, mozzarella sticks. And we go for meeting new people and hopefully empowering our businesses. And then we end up with great friends, which is great. But sometimes you end up doing nothing with your business. You just get a bunch of business cards, you put them in your pocket or your purse, and that's it. That's where they stay until you go to the laundry and you find them that you have already washed them. So So hopefully that's not your case that you already have watched the business cards. Okay, so let's start with a little bit of differences between networking here in the US and networking in Europe. Since we have Bruno with us. So Bruno, would you like to go ahead and share a little bit on what is it networking in Europe?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, obviously, network. I don't believe like Europe, like France or Spain or Portugal or everything, right? I think it depends on the culture of the people, depends on the culture of the country, right? And it just depends, how well. For example, because look, for example, maybe in Sweden, which I'm not quite sure, by the way, so don't take my word for universal, right? But because like the more north you go for, right, the less people are warm because we're dealing with cold countries. But the more south you go in the world, right, the warmer the countries are, so people are technically more warmer themselves, right? And so it really depends, right? um, Maybe Morocco is close to Europe, right? I mean, there's just the Mediterranean, like um, 1 hour away from Portugal, kind of Spain, whatever, right? People in Morocco, like, or even Portugal, or whatever, when they network, it's all about like going to a coffee shop and just connecting face to face, right? And they all have their way of really like interacting with one another, right? But maybe if you go like up the north, and stuff like maybe to England, right, or whatever, maybe the all the like all the like being behind the screen and stuff, maybe for people it's fine because people are not so warm themselves, maybe people are busier, right, than another, because and so it all depends on how people adapt to it the most, right? Because obviously certain cultures, certain countries have their own way of doing it, right? There's certain things, like, and depending on how much it also depends on how beneficial it is, right? And so therefore I say, for example, in Morocco, right, like it is way more beneficial to meet up face to face in a coffee shop because that's exactly how things are kind of like work, right? uh, Based on the society and on the culture, right? And especially when you hear people talk, it's like, oh yeah, that's how we kind of do it here and stuff. And like, oh yeah, right. And so yeah.
Oh, okay. So what would be the biggest difference that you would say between, because I know there's religion, there's difference in countries, difference in climates. What would you say is the biggest difference on networking on the other side of the land?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all about like the knowledge, like it's all about, like because for example, there's two for me like there's only two ways that I've ever networked, right? There's networking face to face, and then there's networking, behind the screen, right? You're in a video call, right? And so that's the thing. Like there are certain cultures and societies that will promote more the face to face because that's how their society kind of does it, right? And there's other type of cultures that will promote more the video call because maybe they're not such a warm type of society, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like the where I kind of like trying to get to, right? And that's kind of the difference between like type of Nordic countries, more southern countries, right? Depending on the type of weather, because that influences the people, and so all that will influence how people really want to like kind of like interact with each other. And all those interactions are not just in terms of relationships or friendships; it's also in terms of business because of the networking, right? And so some people, depending on where they come from or whatever, probably they will choose more, like either video chat, right, or just face to face interaction, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's awesome. Irina, when you go networking, what is your first goal in your mind?
You know what? To me, as you're describing, there is a difference. To me, there is no difference because right now we networking online globally. And when I attend some of the events, people are from Australia, from Europe, from UK, from other countries, right? Join. And I wouldn't say there is a difference because networking is networking. It's more about the people and what are their intention. So for me, I have not experienced any difference. I've been to a couple of networking events where we have like international crew more than just Americans, and I don't see any difference much because in especially in the field that we are in, like I was going for some networking specifically for speakers, for the authors, coaches, and people in this area. It doesn't matter where you're coming from the world, they are still very heartwarming, they are still very open, and all it's all about connections. But again, some people know how to make connections and some people still learning how to do that. Even in America, like sometimes you go to these networking events and people freaking reading from their scripts of what are they saying, like the pitch, and it's like it turns off me right away. I'm like, first of all, you are at the networking. Your main goal is to connect. Your main goal is not to sell and pitch yourself. This is like something that turns me off. So that's why I'm very choosy now which networking I actually attend. But the point is that people don't realize the power of connection, because if you really get to know the person on a deeper level and really make these connections, because it doesn't have to be a business right away, right? Because sometimes it takes a year and then something pops up, right? So the idea is you have to have the right intention. And the first intention is usually, how can I support you? How can I help you? That's exactly what you have to be open to do for another person, knowing that it's going to serve you, right? Again, universal laws. That's exactly whatever you're sending out, that's exactly what you're going to receive back.
Hmm. That is absolutely true. When you go there with the mindset of helping somebody else, you will get that in return. But yet, still, even when you go with best intentions, you got to remember that the best intentions were the things that were used to pave the road to hell. So, if you go with best intentions and without taking care of yourself, looking out for you, you may be doing a lot of good for everybody, but then your business will not be thriving. Everybody else's business will, but yours won't be thriving right away. So you really have to have some goals when you get it set up. That's why my main question was for you, like, what is your goal when you go to a networking?
My goal is to connect. because this is the start of something amazing. When we connect and then we develop that relationship, that's exactly how people do business with other people.
Absolutely, absolutely. And how about you, Kara? What will be the best type of networking for you? Because that's another thing. Every business differs. Some businesses need the face to face. Some other business can be done online. For you, for your type of business, or for a coaching business that all three of you are coaches, which one would you say that is the best?
Hmm. I don't know that I would say either is better, but the results tend to be different. So when I go online, I tend to find a lot of people who it takes a lot longer to kind of warm up, right? Like, so you go to the network and then you reach out and then you have your one on one, then you have a second one on one. Then by the third, they're like, I mean, maybe I still want to talk about business with you. In person, it seems like it goes a lot faster. People are much, much more ready to, they've met you, they kind of felt you out and got your vibe right away. And it takes a little less time to get that connection to go to bring it to fruition.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree with Kara because always, when you meet one on one, right? It's just a different vibe, right? Although the energy is energy, but it's still different, right? We are more prone to connect on the personal level when we actually in the physical contact with the person rather than online. Yes, and I totally agree with you. When you go to these events that are locally, you might develop faster connections and better business than online. But I still, I still praise online because in my experience, the local businesses have the local mindset, and it really didn't work for me.
Mhm.
Yep, find your community. I guess that's really the thing that I would say stands out to me is it has less to do about whether it's online or in person as are they your people? Like if you go to a network event and you come out thinking all I got was a friend, like that's not a great group for you because if I go to a networking group and all I got out of it was a friend, I'm like, hell yeah, because that person, that one friend is now my network. That's I don't
Totally.
need to sell them. I need them to like me for me to like them. And then when we're not in the room, we talk about each other.
Yes, and I think that's the beauty of it, and you nailed it, Kara, because it's all about we all, if we all come with the intention how we can support each other. That's exactly when we see that synergy in the networking. Not just one person comes how to support, and another person how can I sell. But then again, you cannot, you cannot. Manipulate the energy. Like I can see people right away, and you as well, Kara. It's like it's obvious. You can see what people have just based on their energy.
Yep. And that's one of the beauties about Kara because when I met her through the online network, because I met Irina and Kara through online networking. Later, Irina introduced us to Bruno, and definitely, that is one of the biggest things. That's one of the parts that I wanted to reach out. You have to find out what your niche is, where you work better or more comfortably, and what your business needs. But above all, like Kara said on a previous show, figure who has your freak flag on. Who's gonna be your partner, your team member in this endeavor to grow? Because that's the thing. While you may find a lot of friends, a lot of people that they're fantastic to hang out with, let's be honest. How many times do you get that friend to say, you know what? Somebody needed this that I know my friend does. Let me go ahead and connect them. It's very few far in between that you hear that. And that's the part that I wanted to get to. When you go to a networking event, while having the mindset of helping everybody, you also have to figure out who's your team member. And those persons, they're gonna be your MVPs, your most valuable players. You're gonna go ahead and connect with them as much as you can. And to be honest, you gotta go ahead and reach out to them from time to time, see how they're doing, because it's one thing to do business and another thing just to be a send me business type of person. It's two different things. So, Kara, since you have a lot of experience dealing with business owners and business professionals, do you have any tips, tricks, or anything that you would like to share?
Yes, my favorite thing to encourage owners, business entrepreneurs, anybody who's out networking, bring what you're looking for, right? So if you are looking for connections, bring connections. Be there thinking about who can I connect to the person that I need to know, because then you become that person, and it becomes both your offer and your ask. And one of the gaps that I've noticed in a lot of networking is a lot of people come with an offer, but they forget to come with an ask. And sometimes the best ask that you can ask is, who do you know that I need to know? Not who's going to buy my thing, not who can I coach, not who can I lead, not who do you know that I should know? And then offer that.
That that is true. That's one of the simplest way, but we forget. We forget to ask. For some reason, as people, and I've noticed this goes beyond cultures because doesn't matter what's your background, people are afraid of asking for something. They feel okay about giving it. They feel like, oh my God, I don't deserve this. And that's one of the things that we as entrepreneurs we have to start working on getting better because we do deserve it. We do have a dream, and the only way to build a dream is by asking people, hey, who should I talk to? Who should I connect with? What do you know that can benefit me? And sometimes it could be as simple as, hey, do you have a book that you can recommend me? Some books may actually give you a lot of clues of how they think, what they do. It's a good starting point.
I'm going to follow that because that's so good, right? And and the power play there that I want to highlight is in asking for something, you are by nature letting the other person become the hero. You want a book? Now they get to tell you about their favorite book. You tell them, I've got this thing, who do I need? Now they get to connect you to their people. When you just come to networking looking for somebody to sell your stuff to, very limited. And not most people are not at networking because they're looking to buy something. Most people are there either looking to sell their products or to genuinely make connections. But if you come and you have an offer that you can be like, hey, now you know about me and like what I'm doing, but you let someone else be the hero. Tell me, I really need a VA. I really need someone to help me with my Go High level. I really need a book. I just finished my last one. What are you guys reading? Suddenly, you just open the door to more than a sale. You open a door to being helped, which makes people more willing to receive help. Powerful.
Very powerful.
Hmm.
And I also have the tool. Like, again, I'm all working with the energy, and I know everything is created on the energetic plane before it comes to the physical world. So when people have the intention, go with the intention, set your intention. Intention is like, what do I expect from that event? And if you set the intention to connect to the people, to the right people, right? And just have the best time of my life, because not necessarily you might have the, like the people for them, or what to ask. However, that person that you are gonna be connected, maybe, in the future, is gonna bring 10 people to you. That's the thing. That's exactly how the energy works. Not to expect something, but rather set intention and go with the open mind, knowing that everything is gonna work out for you.
Hmm. Does any of you have any online networking event that you would like to promote? I think I speak for the three of us that the one that Lynn has is an amazing networking, and I will be sharing the link. But what what other places would you like?
I will share a link to you to share to everyone. I cannot encourage people enough to go to Leon, Michael, and Alejandra's connection call. They It's a whole room full of people who understand the difference between pitching so people understand you and then pitch slapping.
Hmm.
And it's every Wednesday at noon Pacific Standard Time.
There we go.
And I would recommend WPN. It's Women Prosperity Network. This is one of my favorite networking, and this is exactly what propelled me to the level I am right now.
Okay, that one I'm not allowed, but next time. I'm just messing with
Yes.
you. But on the meantime, we do have a good question right now coming up, and I'll be sharing the Kara's networking in a second. But we do have a question, which will be a good way of how to actually properly present yourself, how to actually pitch properly. So the question goes directed is from Randy to um
Bruno,
Bruno. My head went blank for a second.
do that.
So, how do you spread a message of self love and self empowerment without sounding like a Hallmark card? So, when you have to pitch what you do to other business owners,
Well, how do you spread the message of self-love and self-empowerment without sounding like a hallmark card? Well, you don't overdo it, because if you're overdoing it, then like it just seems that is not real. The whole point of self-love and self-empowerment is all about being yourself. And so no matter how you say it doesn't matter how you say it, as long as you say it like you say it, right? Not like like Tony Robbins say it or Mark Cuban says it, like in Shark Tank and stuff. No, it's like you say it, Randy, right? And so, because you're talking about self-love and self-empowerment, right? So you're talking about authenticity, talking about being authentic, right? You can say a lot in 3 words and say nothing in 10, right? And so you talk about self-empowerment, you talk about energy, you talk about being really potent with your words, right? And and because you're pitching, right? Not pitch slapping, because you're pitching, you have to open your mouth. But we all know that, well, at least we all know. I mean, I believe that um, the best way to show something is not really by talking, is by doing it. But in this case, we're really talking, so the doing part has to come later, right? But when it comes to talking, it's about being as direct as you possibly can be, right? Without sounding like a pigeon, right? And like just repeating yourself and all that stuff, right? Like a broken record. Because then again, you can say something in 3 words, which is very important, or you can say something in 10 words, which is basically like useless, and people are still like, yeah, I still didn't get it, like, okay. So yeah, right. So yeah, that's kind of my answer right there.
okay, no, go ahead, Kara.
Aha. I love this question because I have a hack that I use that seems to have worked really well, because you don't know why other people are in a networking event. We kind of assume everybody's there to network and connect and grow their business and grow their community. That's, we don't know what somebody's going to be interested in. So I tell my story in 3 parts. There's my job, the joining of operations and behaviors. So it's like the nuts and bolts. I'd say I'm an executive coach. I do one-to-one coaching. I do leadership development training. I do a lot of speaking engagements. Anybody you know in that space that I need to know, let me know. But then I do my work, right? The weekly overload of responsibility and knowledge. This is where you get to share more of your why, like your mission. So what my work is, I help people better so that they can have more life in their life and more business in their business, because that's the only way I know to dismantle the hustle cult. That's going to connect with people in a very different way. They're like, oh, no, I know somebody who needs more life in their life. Or, oh, somebody was just complaining about not having work-life balance. Or, oh, I know somebody with golden hair. Suddenly their mind's going somewhere else. But then I throw in a personal aspect. So I go to what I call the fix, the future is Xenial, the thing that makes my life happy. And that's where I get to talk about the eco village I want to create and the STEAM university and how I don't just want to dismantle the hustle cult in businesses. I want to create an entire community. I have a hairy, audacious goal. And people are like, what? And there's a whole different crowd, but that way you can give them an entire idea of who you are. You're not just pitching your service because you're trying to sell them. You're pitching yourself to see if there was anywhere that they're like, I align with that. Let's talk some more.
I have something too. Like when I go, I usually allow people to come for my podcast or for our with Bruno talk show. It's also another way for people to get exposure and to be visible. And this is what I'm proud of. And I share it all the time because I already have something to give people before asking something in return.
Okay, that is also a good way, give first and then connect. Now, the next thing is that is true, Randy. I had no idea my world would explode too much when I reached out to Kara. That's what happens to all of us when we reach Kara. So that it happens every time you're next to Kara. And for the people that wanted to have the information about the networking events, here's the one that Kara mentioned, Wednesday at noon Pacific time. Here's the link. Please feel free. And here goes the other one, and the one that Irina provided, a Women's Prosperity Networking event with the link. Okay. So back to Bruno real quick. In your business, I know that for all of us it's important to network, but in your business, are you currently doing any business cards? And the reason I'm asking this is because I do have a very specific way of doing business cards that it might be a tip for all of you. So, but Bruno, go ahead. Are you doing any business cards? What are you doing? Are you giving them something when you network with them first, face by face, face to face?
Well, like, I don't really do any business cards because if I did business cards, I'd had to network face to face, and unfortunately, I don't network that much face to face. I'm much more of a like screen type of person because it's easier for me. Really. I don't have to go there and come back, and whenever I leave this, I can always come back to what I'm doing, and I don't have to waste time walking back or taking a bus or whatever. And that's another hour I'm wasting. Um, and so like yeah, like that's really business cards. Not really. What I'm really getting into more and more is QR codes. I feel like QR codes digitally are super important because you don't even have to click a button, you just sit bye,
Hmm.
and so they immediately go and check whatever they need to check, whether if it is signing up for an email list, whether if it is signing up for an event, whether if it is like whatever it is, right? Um, yeah. So QR codes digitally for me are like a must. It's like they're actually very awesome.
Okay, awesome, awesome. How about you, Kara? Do you carry business cards? What are you doing? Do you network face to face to begin with?
I do network face to face. I don't have business cards. I used to, but I assume they all ended up the same place the business cards people gave me, which is in the box under my desk. That I have the best of intentions of getting to. But because I know me, and I assume other people have the same struggle, I just now grab people's phone. I'm like, here, what's your number? Now you have mine.
There we go. So, Irina, what about you?
I don't do any in person for the reason I explained to you already. But I do carry my business cards because I do distribute them in the bank, in the store, in the restaurant, in any place I've been out and about because my business card also has the QR code for my workshop.
Okay, awesome. So great. So here's a tip for the people that do still do business cards. So I already went ahead and covered one of the tips, which is having a QR code. Okay, but I'm gonna cover the QR code in just 1 second. The first thing is I do not ever put my name on a business card, and I just put my phone number and my email and my website. Why? Because people start looking like, when I call you, what is your name? I'm like, glad you asked. Here's a pen, and I get them to write it down. Because remember, you see it, you write it, you listen, you get stuck. And on top of that, a lot of people in the business they call me Johnny Bachata, so I'm just leaving it as Johnny Bachata on all my businesses, taxes, marketing, because they will not forget about Johnny Bachata. They may forget about John Acosta, but they will not forget about Johnny Bachata. The guy is cool. So that's one of the things. I get them to write I leave a space on purpose blank for them to do that. Next thing that I have actually have two QR codes in the front of the business card, right next to the phone number, the email, and the website. There's one QR code that is gonna be electronic business card, meaning that the second that they scan it, they can go ahead and just save it straight to their phone. They don't have to type anything. Okay, and it automatically is gonna save us Johnny Bachata. So again, making it easy for them. And on the back, I do have a QR code for either a promotion that I have or a website link anywhere that I want to. There are different types of QR companies that will allow you for a small fee, sometimes 5, 6, 7 bucks. They give you one QR code that you can change that link 20,000 times and you don't have to reprint your business cards. So those will be the tips that I can give you so you can use your business cards on networking face to face.
I have a question for the audience on this
Sure, go ahead.
question. How do you feel about business cards? And how would you feel about just like a QR? Or here's the thing I've been thinking about. So I'm just vetting this with everybody live right now. What about like a little value card? So I do leadership, right? So if I handed you a card that had a personal leadership hack on it with my QR in the back, would that be like way better? I just want to know. I've got questions.
To be honest, if I'm interested, I will. If it tells me that there's gonna be a tip or trick, something that I'm gonna learn about it, I will definitely scan it. And one thing that I could tell you that you can do on that, you can actually do a pop up and tell them that there's gonna be a free PDF or a free something. So the second they pop up to see the tip that you already given them, you can collect their username, either first name, last name, email, and phone number. That way you can actually start building your email list.
Oh my God, you just gave me the greatest idea. I'm going to record a little welcome
No,
video.
I didn't. You did the best idea. I just complimented it.
Oh my God, that's so good. Yeah.
Okay, so here's Lynn Lionhood networking event. Please do not miss it. It's great. Lynn, if you're watching this, I miss you bunches. I wish I could be making free networkings, hopefully soon enough. Okay, so anybody else has any other tips, tricks, anything that you think that works for you? Irina, you're muted. Can anybody else besides me not hear Irina?
She's not talking yet, I believe. Oh, we can't hear
I
you.
see. Yeah, I see her moving her lips, but I can't hear her.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
I hear you a little off, but yes, we can hear you.
Yes. Let me just change the audio. So the question was,
You're in and out. You're in and out.
can you hear me now?
In and out. In and out.
Very far, very.
Yeah, it must be my connection.
Could be.
Hear me?
I hear you, but super far.
Okay. How about now?
No, it's actually the connection. I don't think it's the mic.
Yeah, I don't think it's the mic. Yeah.
No, it's not the mic because I hear breaking out of the user. So it must be my Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Could
That's
be.
all right. Talk. It's It's okay.
Yeah, so I have a question regarding like Kara, when you said to have the tips. Would it be that the time when you would collect their email address and the name in order for them to claim this, tips and everything else? How would you give them the tips?
Can you maybe put it in the private chat
So she
because
said like
I couldn't make out.
she said how would you give them the tips, by email address or
No, the tips, the tips, the way that it'll work is if Kara would put on the business card, scan this QR code to get a business tip. They will scan it. It will take them to the business tip. But then a second or two later, a pop-up will come up asking them if they want more free tips to sign up for her newsletter, and she will get her first name, last name, phone number, and email. Is that the answer to your question? Is that what you were looking for?
She
No.
says landing page, right? And then they sign up for your business page. Yes. So like
Yeah.
the idea Johnny gave me is now I'm going to create a landing page and have a little video of me being like, "Hi, it was so nice to meet you at marketing. I'm so glad you're here. Here's a giant tip for you right now. And if you want more of that, go here. And then here's my link tree beneath it."
Yes. There you go. You see, there's more than 1,000 ways to skin a cat, and that's the beauty about marketing. We have so many tools nowadays that a business card, although it seems very insignificant because a lot of people tend to toss them out, sometimes it's all about the delivery. It's literally sometimes. The other day I was watching just videos on Instagram, and the topic of the video was it's not about how the salesperson um, shows the item, but it's how he actually makes the buyer change his mind. And then there's this two guys, two a young couple, a fairly good looking guy, and a girl that is not as good looking, but she's very cute. But she knows and she feels like she's not this model. But what she does is that as they're walking, the guy comes already looks like it's their first date, comes with flowers, and then he's like, okay, I'm already here. Let me give you the flowers. He gets the flowers, and as they're walking, he doesn't even try to touch her or anything like that. But the girl, very smart, sees other guys walking on the opposite way of as they're walking, and she starts making faces and making sure that yes, yes, that the guys stare at her. And then at one point, yes, at one point or another, the guy goes like, "Oh my God, like she must be this pretty. I'm not paying attention. Let me make sure that I don't lose her." So same thing with the business cards. It's how we present it sometimes. It's a lot of what your personality has to give at that point. A lot of people are afraid of on networking to show their true personality because they want to be seen very professional, very proper. When sometimes if you're like me, I love to make jokes. I love to see people laugh. So show your personality sometimes before the business card. That will be my last tip for today. I know some of my team members are doing an amazing work being with us at all times. So this time, if anybody else has something to add, this is the time because we literally have 2 more minutes before we said goodbye. So anybody else has anything to say? Yes.
Just because my comments aren't popping up, but Michael Bloomquist says hi. He also shouts out to Lynn. Michael Bloomquist does the Wednesday Connect we were talking about earlier, and also says he loves it when done strategically in a way that is beneficial for everyone. Networking rock. And then I have another, Alicia Gill says that networking fills her cup. I just wanted to share that.
There we Thank you. I didn't see those, so thank you everybody who's participating. I don't get to see them, but Kara is awesome and she's always watching her notifications. Okay, so Irina, anything else to add?
Yes, I just wanted. Can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can.
Yes, I'm back live. So I just wanted to offer that this weekend, due to the Easter and just because I'm in the mood, I'm offering my $1 for a month manifestation membership. So if you want to improve your results, whether this is in business or in relationship or just with yourself, join and see what manifestation is all about. If you've never been experimented with that, this is the time for you, because for $1 you can have the access to the portal with all the recordings and access to me personally. And let's see what this is gonna do for you. Lots of
There you
love.
go.
Find the link.
Listen, think about it. Sometimes you do absolutely nothing. Buy some sweets with more than $1. Now you're getting something that is gonna feed you for a very long time. So that is like well worth investment. Bruno, anything that you have to say before we go? Bye bye.
Not really. I had my event 3 days ago. We got 40 registrations, which was kind of like remarkable.
Yes.
Well, Bruno, can people still watch your event? Isn't
Well,
it still running?
yes, we're gonna have three. We're gonna have a 48-hour replay coming out tomorrow and on the weekend because so many people loved it. Luckily, right? Thankfully.
Awesome.
And so I will leave the link down below as well.
Okay. Awesome. Then in that case, guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you everybody who's on
Thank
the
you.
other side of the screens watching. Thank you and have a good one. Bye.